Okay, I thought there was going to be more than that. You know, I really thought there was going to be more cold brew left, but apparently not, which is my fault. That's okay. Hi, hello, welcome back to the Book Lab. I'm your Book Lab partner, Anna, and today I'm going to be attempting something I've never done before. I'm going to try to do a 24-hour read-a-thon, reading challenge, whatever. It's this thing that people do on BookTube where, like, you set an alarm for 24 hours and you read as much as possible during that time. And here I have a stack of books I want to try to get to today. I have no idea how this is going to go. And I'm sure, like, in terms of reading, it'll be fine. In terms of filming, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done a vlog sort of thing, but we'll see. Regardless of whether or not the video turns out well, I will hopefully read a lot in the next 24 hours, because normally I just spend my weekends playing video games. My goals for this are just to read, obviously. I have 4 books here that I want to try reading in this time. 3 of them, they're all pretty short. That's on purpose. The first one I want to try and read, I want to finish reading Range of Motion by Brian Trapp. I'm like halfway through it. It's less than 300 pages. It's not very long. I started reading this at the start of July, like July 6th or something, and it's the 25th. It's been almost 3 weeks since I started this, and I'd like to finish it, finally. Quick summary about this. This is a contemporary novel about 2 twin brothers, one of which is named Michael, and the other one is named Sal, and Sal was born with severe cerebral palsy. And the book is just sort of about, like, their childhood, them growing up and whatever, and it's told in the perspectives of Michael and both of their parents. Which is interesting. I would really like to finish this first. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm trying not to be too biased because small disclosure, I guess. Disclaimer, whatever. I know Brian Trapp, I know the author, so I'm trying not to be too biased while reading it, but I'm enjoying it so far. I like it. And then the other 3 books are all short. They're all less than 300 pages. And the vibe I'm going for today is, like, weird, horror, whatever. The first book I want to get to after I finish Range of Motion is The Employees by Olga Raven. I think she's Danish. Yeah, this is a book originally written in Danish. This is like a weird sci-fi fiction thing. I don't really know what it's about. I just saw the cover at the bookstore and was like, huh, that's interesting. And it was $15. That's kind of crazy that this was $15. I'll just read you the synopsis because I don't know what to expect other than, like, the book is written entirely in, like, small statements from the employees. So, aboard the Interstellar 6000 ship, the human and humanoid crew members complain about their daily tasks in a series of staff reports and memos. When the ship takes on a number of strange objects from the planet New Discovery, the crew becomes deeply attached to them, even as tensions boil toward mutiny, especially among the humanoids. In chilling, crackling, and exhilarating prose, the Employees probes into what makes us human while delivering a hilariously stinging critique of life governed by the logic of productivity. Oh, this is even blurbed by Jeff Vandermeer, who wrote one of the other books I want to try reading. So yeah, I have no idea what to expect from this. And the back looks a little mysterious, a little strange with all the blacked out words and whatever. I truly don't know what to expect. That's The Employees. That's the first thing I want to get to. The other book, one of the other books I have is Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. This is the first book in the Southern Reach series. I've never read Annihilation. Is there a movie, TV show? Isn't there an adaptation of this? I want to read this. This is like a apocalypse sort of thing. It says, Area X has been cut off from the rest of the continent for decades, and nature has reclaimed the last vestiges of human civilization. Expedition after expedition into Area X has failed to uncover its mysteries and the true nature of its danger to the world. Now, a 12th expedition makes the attempt, a group of 4 women, an anthropologist, a surveyor, a psychologist, and the narrator, a biologist. Their mission is to map the terrain, record observations of the surroundings, and above all, avoid being contaminated by Area X. I know there's freaky aliens in this, or freaky monsters or something. That's kind of all I know. That's Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I love this cover. I think Caitlin gave this to me. Like, this was her copy, but then she found a set of all 3 books at a thrift store with a different cover, and so she gave me this one. Very cool. And the last book I want to try reading is Death Valley by Melissa Broder. I've only read like snippets of her work before in a Jewish writers class that I took last year, like spring a year ago. I did not pick this for myself. I got this from like a blind date with a book thing that like the student organization for my English major made. It's like, I don't even remember what like because like it's wrapped in paper and it's labeled like with some themes or whatever. So it's like woman author, theme about grief and like weird or something. I know that Melissa Broder's work is supposed to be a little weird, and I'll read you the summary for this one too. In Melissa Broder's astounding new novel, a woman arrives at a Best Western seeking respite from an emptiness that plagues her. She has fled to the desert to escape a cloud of sorrow for both her dying father and a husband whose illness is worsening. Hiking a sun-scorched trail, the narrator encounters a towering cactus whose size and shape mean it should not exist in California. Yet the cactus is there with a gash through its side that beckons like a familiar door, so she enters it. What awaits her within this mystical succulent sets her on a journey at once desolate and rich, hilarious and poignant. That's Death Valley by Melissa Broder. I don't really know what to expect from this experience. I mean, I assume it'll be kind of fun. I guess I'll lay down some ground rules and stuff. I'm going to sleep because I work full time and I wake up at 5:45 5 days a week. So I'm absolutely going to sleep tonight. Today's Saturday, by the way. And I do have plans tomorrow at noon, so I am going to pause my timer during that time so that I don't just like waste time. So it might end up being more like a 27 hour read-a-thon, but that's fine. Remember when people used to call TikTok the clock app? Do people still do that? Oh, sorry. I apparently have to do it for 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds, which is stupid. Why do you not have a 24-hour timer? I'm going to do my best to just read all day. And even if I want to pause and play video games, I'm not going to. And I do have to make dinner later, so I'll stop reading for that. We'll see how it goes. It is currently 2:40 p.m. Are we ready? The 24 hours of reading starts now. See, something I like about Brian and his work, he's very funny. Sal is the twin with cerebral palsy, remember, and he can only say 8 words, and it seems like they just got him like a computer to try and make it so that he can talk more. It's like the wolf, which is what they call the computer voice thingy. The wolf had Sal saying, "I love you, mommy." What 8th grader says "I love you" to his own mother? The ones who got punched. Not that they'd punched Sal, which was worse. He'd never learn. I just think it's funny and amusing. Okay, so it's 5:50 p.m. We are 3 hours and 10 minutes into the 24-hour readathon, and I'm on page 190. And I kind of think I'm going to stop with this now. I said I wanted to finish this before I started the other things, but I'm just reading this too slowly, and I'm not really in the mood for a contemporary right now, so I think I'm going to Oh yeah, so I'm gonna put down range of motion for a bit, but now I want to start reading The Employees by Olga Raven. I probably should have looked up how to pronounce her name. And I want to read the first page with you. Maybe a workplace novel of the 22nd century. This is the first page. The following statements were collected over a period of 18 months, during which time the committee interviewed the employees with a view to gaining insight into how they related to the objects in the rooms in which they were placed. It was our wish, by means of these unprejudiced recordings, to gain knowledge of local workflows and to investigate possible impacts of the objects, as well as the ways those impacts, or perhaps relationships, might give rise to permanent deviations in the individual employee, and moreover to assess to what degree they might be said to precipitate reduction or enhancement of performance, task-related understanding, and the acquisition of new knowledge and skills, thereby eliminating their specific consequences for production. That doesn't tell me much. Other than I know that the book is all artifacts, like, because there are all these statements, things that the employees write. So maybe I will read the first statement. Except it's statement 004, not 001. Voter. This should honestly, the fact that a lot of the pages aren't even full pages, I should be able to read this pretty quickly. So here's the first statement. Statement 004. It's not hard to clean them. The big one, I think, sends out a kind of hum, or is it just something I imagine? Maybe that's not what you mean. I'm not sure, but isn't it female? The cords are long, spun from blue and silver fibers. They keep her up with a strap made of calf-colored leather with prominent white stitching. What color is a calf, actually? I've never seen one. From her abdomen runs this long pink cord-like thing. What do you call it? Like the fibrous shoot of a plant. I don't know, like an umbilical cord? Maybe? It takes longer to clean than the others. I normally use a little brush. One day she'd laid an egg. If I'm allowed to say something here, I don't think she should have her hung up all the I don't think you should have her hung up all the time. The egg had cracked when it dropped. The egg mass was on the floor underneath her, and the thready end of the chute was stuck in the egg mass. I ended up removing it. I haven't told anyone before now. Maybe that was a mistake. The next day there was a hum, louder than that, like an electric rumble, and the day after that she was quiet. She hasn't made a sound since then. Is there some kind of sadness there? I always use both hands. I couldn't say if the others have heard anything or not. Mostly I go there when everyone's sleeping. It's no problem keeping the place clean. I've made it into my own little world. I talk to her while she rests. It might not look like much. There's only 2 rooms. You'd probably say it was a small world, but not if you have to clean it. Interesting. I have no idea what this is about or what I'm about to get into, but here we go. It's time to start The Employees. Okay, I'm literally only on page 16. I don't know what's happening still. I mean, so it's written in these statements. I assume they are from different employees on the ship. They're not like named or anything. I mean, some of them are clearly more like human than others because it says like on the back that there's humanoid employees. And also the statements are out of order, I'm realizing. I'm trying to pay somewhat attention to like the numbers, but it doesn't matter that much. But like for example, one of them says, this is statement 10, don't go into the second room. It's not nice in there. You've got the choice. You can make us go in your place. We've already been in there. You can still save yourselves. I don't know if I'm human anymore. Am I human? Does it say in your files what I am? So like I think all these statements, it said on whatever page at the very beginning that like all these statements were given, collected over a period of 18 months, during which time the committee interviewed the employees. So the U is the committee for whatever the hell these people work for. There's one that's clearly from a humanoid character. It's like, I'm very happy with my add-on. But then they have dreams that the add-on, I have no idea what it is, like is missing. Says like, it's me and it's not me. Another one I think is related to the object that was in the first statement that I read. The fragrance in the room. I like to be in the room. I find it very erotic. The suspended object, I recognize my gender in it. or at least the gender I have on the 6,000 ship. And it's like, gets weirdly horny. And I'm like, what? I don't know what's happening. I truly have no idea. The reason I started recording this is because the next statement I just read is one sentence. It says, I know you say I'm not a prisoner here, but the objects have told me otherwise. Like the objects or the things that a lot of the people are talking about? I don't know. Ominous. Weird. I don't know what's happening. I know you say I'm not a prisoner here, but the objects have told me otherwise. I'm like, well, what are the objects telling you? Anyway, I just want to do a little check in because things are weird, and I shall keep going. Okay, what's up, gang? It is a little after 7. It is 7:17. We are 4.5 hours in, and I've been reading the employees for the past hour. I am on page 68 of 125, so I'm like exactly halfway through. I don't know what is going on. The best way I can describe this is that there's this crew on this ship called the 6,000 ship, and they're orbiting around this planet called New Discovery, and the crew is made up of humans and humanoids. A lot of the entries are about like weird distinctions between them, like between being human and not human, being born versus made, or blah blah blah. It was honestly pretty basic, kind of post-humanist questions or whatever. Or like from this planet, they collect objects. They're just called the objects, and the objects are kept in these two rooms on the ship. And the objects, I don't really know how to picture them. I don't know, I sort of picture them like weird rocks. I picture them actually a lot like the creature eggs from Subnautica, even though they're, oh, I mean, there is reference to eggs sometimes. There's like a lot of references to like the fragrance in these rooms and like smell. There was one entry that was like the first smell I lost was this, the last one I lost was vanilla or something. They have like these weird connections to the objects. I don't know what to make of this. It's interesting. It's not that like I thought it would be weirder. Don't get me wrong, it is weird, but I don't know. Oh my god, there was one that sort of made me go, oh shit. There's a statement from, I presume, a humanoid, like artificial employee, and they're like, I'm starting to feel disloyal to the organization. I feel like you guys can make mistakes and that I'm not like as blindly faithful in you, whatever. But the employee's like, well, but I'd like to change that because everything's all about like productivity and like doing the best you can for work and whatever. The employee's like, I'd like to be assigned to this kind of position where I have less responsibility. And they say, like, I realize the abilities I've been allocated won't be fully exploited in that case, but does the pain I feel not mean anything? I venture to suggest that such pain impacts the quality of my work and, moreover, may negatively influence the work of my colleagues. In one of the statements, it said something, because, like, a lot of the statements say you, and there's, like, someone from the committee or the organization or whatever that is, like, writing down all these statements. So often the statements read very conversational, like, they're obviously, like, being spoken. It's like, continuing from where I left off, like, okay, I see. So I wouldn't have the power of speech? Now I understand. I hereby consent. When, and then the sentence just cuts off after when, and I'm like, oh, that's freaky. That's freaky. I don't like that. Yeah, otherwise, I don't really know what's happening. I mean, with it being so short and it being so odd, but I feel like it isn't doing anything strongly enough to impact me a whole lot, if that makes sense. And it's sometimes gross, but I'll definitely be able to finish it tonight, considering I'm halfway and it only took me an hour and a half ish to get here. I think I am going to stop for a bit though. Like, I'm going to stop reading because it is 7:22 and I'm hungry. The last thing I consumed was coffee, and coffee after a while makes me hungry. So I'm gonna make dinner. I'm gonna make enchiladas, and they're probably gonna be really bland because it's just turkey with a Mexican spice blend that I made. But whatever. We are 4.5 hours in. It's kind of, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. But yeah, we're almost at 5 hours. Crazy. I straight up, I did think I would have made more progress at this point because I only read 80 pages of Range of Motion, and then I've also only read like almost 70 pages of this. So that's only like a combined 150 pages in 4 hours. I mean, granted, like I've taken breaks to like go to the bathroom and whatever. Um, but like I thought I'd be reading faster. There's no way I'm getting through all the books in this. I still want to finish Range of Motion in this video. I'm pretty sure I can definitely finish this tonight. Like these two, I have no idea if I'll finish either of them. I also don't know which one I want to read first. I kind of want to do Death Valley, mostly just because it's not part of a series. I'm hoping it'll be easier to read. Oh yeah, it is. The Employees is easy to read, especially in that like each page is its own statement usually. Sometimes there's a statement that's more than a page, but it's never more than two. So you go through them really fast and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. We will continue with this later. Now I have to cook food. Something I don't love doing, but you know, unfortunately, I have to survive. So, off I go. Okay. They look like enchiladas, so it's good. Time for the moment of truth. See how they are. Oh, and I'm sure they're fine, but like this recipe calls for pork chorizo, but Trader Joe's doesn't sell pork chorizo, so I have to make it with turkey, like seasoned turkey. And you know, turkey is like bland as fuck, which is why I sort of drowned this in cheese. But let's see. Not bad. It's a decent dinner. I was supposed to make this last night, but after I'd already put the rice on a boil, I realized, oh, I never actually bought a bell pepper for this like I was supposed to. And so I got one today. Now here I am, eating enchiladas. So I'm gonna eat my dinner. I'm going to watch some YouTube on my computer, and then I'll have to clean up. Thankfully, I was able to clean up a lot of the stuff while the enchiladas were actually baking, so I just have to wash the poor abused frying pan and the pot for rice. Though honestly, I might even wait longer to wash those because they need to soak. Yeah, I will start reading again after dinner. I'll see you later. Okay, it is 8:54. We're now at 17 hours and 46 minutes left. So it's been basically about an hour and a half since I stopped for dinner. I'm just really quickly putting in the employees on all my mini book tracking methods. I have Goodreads, I have Storygraph, I have a personal just like Google spreadsheet that I use, and then I also have a Notion page. I did not make it myself. I think I used the template from the Book Leo, shout out Leonie. Yeah, I used a template from one of her videos. Yeah, it's almost 9, so that means we are not quite 6.5 hours into the thing. Which again is crazy. I feel like I haven't read enough to be 6.5 hours in, but whatever. That's fine. Have I actually read 10 books so far? Oh yeah. And once I finish Range of Motion, the employees, it'll be 12. Part of the reason why I am doing this challenge is because I know that reading goals aren't that serious, and they're not really that serious to me. In college, it wasn't until college that I actually started hitting my reading goals, usually because I was reading stuff for school. But this year, I've been really dropping the ball. Part of why I'm doing this is because this can bolster my numbers. Yeah, the employees has a 3.63 on Goodreads. And I can see that. Like, I don't know really where I'm sitting with it at the moment. It's not sitting very high, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, yeah, now I'm done with that. It is 8:58, and we are at 17 hours and 42 minutes left on the clock. Let's get into it. Okay, I wanna read one of the statements to you guys just because it's interesting. I want to be stabbed with a knife by a humanoid coworker. Meaning, I assume that this statement is from a human. I just want to be a body inside a red biodrapery with no one able to make contact with that body anymore. What is biodrapery? I don't really know. There's a place in the ship that has them, and there's different kinds. It goes on. Can I donate myself to science? Can I be transferred like the third officer in Cadet '04? Can my mortal frame be used for someone other than me? No, I don't know what makes me say such a thing. I just want to be stabbed in the stomach, that's all. I want to perish at someone else's wish. I want to feel ecstasy, if only once, on the 6,000 ship. So, yeah, what I'm gathering so far in terms of plot, because like as the statements go on, they are from over time. They're not all in order, but they are mostly chronological. Someone who was the third officer, they died. The two times they've been referred to, there's been like a redacted in relation to it, like and then Cadet 04 was removed. So, like, this is from a statement like 2 pages earlier. It's like, and like the humans are aware that the humanoids are planning something. One of the objects was taken away. A cadet was removed at some point. An officer died at some point. Like before all this, I think. I don't know what's happening. I just wanted to read that statement about wanting to be stabbed because I thought it was interesting. And yeah, it just seems like over time the crew is growing less willing to talk to whoever is issuing these interviews. I'm gonna go back to reading now. Okay, so it is currently 10:09 p.m. We're 16 and a half hours left, and I have just finished The Employees by Olga Raven. My first completed book of the video. And this, I don't know what to make of this. I thought it was certainly weird. There was sort of like an actual plot toward the end because like something happened and choices were made, and we heard like the sort of opinions of different employees about what was going to happen. But otherwise, like, I I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess like major theme of this is like what it means to be human, like the human versus non-human. And like for me, this past winter term I took a class all about like cyborg literature. So we read like Frankenstein, we watched Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell, we read the Cyborg Manifesto, The Girl Who Was Plugged In. So like I'm quite familiar with such topics. I also read The Murder Bot Diaries, All Systems Red, which is sort of about a similar thing. And this is like, this didn't say much of anything new. It was just weird. I didn't know what the hell the objects were. I mean, there were things that were produced by this planet that they were orbiting. And like a lot of the crew like started having like reactionary symptoms to being around these objects. There were a lot of like weird dreams about skin and like pores and like low-key trypophobia. But yeah, that's over now. I'm probably gonna give this like, I don't know, 3 stars or something, which is probably why it has a 3.64 or whatever on Goodreads, like I said earlier. I liked the format, like it wasn't told like a regular story was, because it's all in collected statements and they are mostly in order but not all of them. There are 120 statements, 179 statements. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, I'll probably give this 3 stars or something. It was fine. It didn't do a whole lot for me. It was just sort of weird and confusing, but not in a way that was like cool, really. So yeah, I finished a video. I finished a book. Yay! Now the question is, what do I read now? It is 10:12. I'm like low-key getting sleepy a little bit. I'm not sure I want to go back to Range of Motion at the moment. Maybe I'll start. I feel like Annihilation is going to be a very similar vibe to The Employees. It's like sci-fi, weird, creepy shit. Also, sorry, unrelated. I forgot how like kind of difficult it is to hold and read physical books, especially paperbacks. Especially one this small. It was honestly, my hand was starting to hurt a little bit compared to like holding my Kindle or something. But yeah, I'm not sure if I want to read Death Valley or Annihilation. I kind of want to do Annihilation next. I'm just more interested in Annihilation than Death Valley, But I'm also kind of down for. I don't know. I predict that Annihilation might be a slightly more straightforward story than Death Valley. Just because, like, based on the description, that, like, it sounds like this is going to be sort of a confusing, maybe not totally linear thing. But for all I know, Annihilation isn't linear either. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll take a little break and, like, eat ice cream or something. I think I'm gonna have ice cream. And then I'll decide from there. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna read next. Maybe I will just go back to Range of Motion. Because I at least know I'm enjoying that. Like with the employees, I was just like, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Weird sci fi. The problem for me is that it was just so vague that I was just like, what the fuck? What's happening? Why should I care? Let's read the first page of Death Valley End. And I think I've actually read the first page of Death Valley before, just to see if it sparks my interest. Chapter 1. I pull into the desert town at sunset feeling empty. I felt empty the whole drive from Los Angeles and hoped that my arrival would alleviate the emptiness. So when the emptiness is not alleviated, not even momentarily, I swear to God, the sun sets here, and then everyone in their jackass, loud ass cars decides they need to go ripping down the one way street outside. What was I saying? So, when the emptiness is not alleviated, not even momentarily, all emptiness alleviators are temporary, I feel emptier. Help me not be empty, I say to God in the Best Western parking lot. Why is God not capitalized? Side eyeing that as someone who did copy editing for a final project. Since I don't turn to God very often, I feel self conscious when I do. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to ask for, and I worry that I shouldn't want the things I want. Are my requests too specific? I should specifically ask to simply be happy. Oh, I should probably ask to simply be happy doing God's will. Though I've heard it said that when you're doing God's will, you feel like you're flowing with a great river, not against it, so it seems like the happy feeling should just come naturally. Earlier today, a friend texted me a quote by Kierkegaard. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Ordinarily, I'd do nothing more than mark this kind of text message with a heart, maybe respond with the word yes, and move on. But because of the low place I've been in, I saw the quote as a life raft, as though I were a small version of me adrift in a bowl of milk, and the quote was the lone Cheerio I had to grab onto. So this sounds like it could be intriguing. What the hell is this? Huh. So I got this, like I said, I got this from like a event organized by my like major, and in it is a ticket from the New York Racing Association. Whoever last owned this book watched horses race for $81 on, oh hey, almost 2 years ago, July 13th, 2024. That's cool. So yeah, that's the first page of Death Valley. Now I'm gonna read the first page of Annihilation to compare. I kind of honestly want to do Death Valley. So yes, I guess I'm going to commit and say I'm going to start reading Death Valley because I don't really feel like doing Range of Motion at this very moment. And just for time check, it is 10:31. We have 16 hours and 10 minutes left. I don't know how long I'm going to read this for. I'm going to read this until I start getting tired, and then I think I'm going to get ready for bed, and then I might read. I'll either keep reading this or Range of Motion after I get in bed. So I will I will try to update again before turning in for the night, but if I don't, I'll see you in the morning. Hello. It's 11:39. We're almost exactly at 9 hours since I started. I'm about to go get ready for bed, and I think I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm not going to read in bed or anything. But I made some progress on Death Valley by Melissa Broder. I'm on page 51. I've read the first 9 chapters. This is interesting so far. I like just got to the main inciting incident, I guess, or whatever. The catalyst, I guess, is the better word for it. The main character of the story is a 41-year-old woman. Her father has been in the ICU for months because he was critically injured after a car accident. He's like in and out of consciousness and whatever. And she's feeling things about that. And her husband is also sick with mysterious illness. Her husband isn't dying, he's just sick. She's a writer and she's come to a nameless a nameless town in Death Valley, California, in the high desert. I mean, the thing that just happened is that she goes on a hike, and while she's mildly delirious from dehydration because it's the desert and she is not hydrating herself, she finds this giant cactus on this hiking trail, and it has like a little opening in it. She goes inside said cactus, and immediately things are weird. Like, time is weird. Like, she's just sort of sitting on the floor in there, and then, like, her dad as a kid just sort of appears next to her. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea where the next 200 pages will take me because the book is 232 pages. So, and I'm on what? I said I was on page 50? Yeah. I am going to get ready for bed and continue tomorrow. I'll probably set an alarm for like 9, maybe, so I can get some reading done before my plans at noon. And yeah, again, we've just crossed the 9-hour mark. Still got 15 more to go. Except I'm gonna spend like half of those sleeping, and I'm not gonna pause the timer while I'm sleeping, because then that'll just be like 2 full days of reading, and that's not quite the point. I'm pretty proud of my progress so far. I've read an entire book. I still don't know what the hell The Employees was. But hey, I read all this. It was 120 pages. I read 80 pages of range of or 70 or 80 pages of range of motion. So that's like 200 pages, 50 pages of Death Valley. So I read 250 pages today. I feel like I could be reading faster, but who cares? I doubt you care. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. So I'm sitting here. I need to wash my face and do the good old honk shoe for several hours. And I'll see you in the morning. Bye bye. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It's 8:47, which means we have, oh my god, we have 6 hours left. We are 18 hours into the read-a-thon, even though, yeah, I did spend 8 of those hours sleeping. But again, like, I'm okay with that. I don't need to push myself too hard. Yeah, it's Sunday morning. It's cloudy outside. I slept good. I think I did not have any weird dreams about weird objects on ships or cactuses or anything. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna make my breakfast, good old bagel with cream cheese, and then I'm going to start reading for the day. I think I'm gonna start the day with range of motion because, like I said at the start of the video, that like my main goal, or one of my main goals with this, was to finish reading that book, and I want to see if I can do that within the next 2 hours, because I do have plans at 12, so I only have about 2 hours until I need to leave. I have 90 pages left, which means I should be able to read that much. I should be able to read that much in 2 hours. While I also need to make breakfast and get ready, I don't know. That's the plan. I'm gonna make breakfast and then continue reading range of motion. Let's go. You know, I want juice. I don't normally drink juice, but I want it. This is a normal glass to have juice in, right? This juice from Trader Joe's is so yummy. I love it. Got my breakfast. Yay. Okay, so it is like 11, it's 11:24. I just finished reading Range of Motion, so that's my second book done for the video. I don't have a lot of time to update or anything because I need to get ready and then leave to meet my friend for coffee. But yeah, I thought this was great. I'm not totally sure what I'll rate it yet. I will do that probably when I get back later. I don't know, because I even though this sort of doxes me, the author of this is actually my professor, and so I know a decent amount about his real life twin brother who had cerebral palsy, and I know that a lot of this book is based on his real life. Again, I was trying so hard not to be biased when reading this because I know the author, but I just tell so much love went into this, and there's so much life and character within these pages, and I really liked it. I wish I'd read it faster because it took me, I think, 3 weeks. I started on the 6th. A day shy of 3 weeks is how long it took me to read this. It's really hard for me to give 5 stars to books that take me a long time to read, but this is like a probably 4.5. I don't know. I can deal with that later. I want to try and give like a really fast summary about this. I mean, I kind of already did. Yeah, it's about these twin brothers, Michael and Sal. Michael's able-bodied, Sal has cerebral palsy. The book follows them through, they're 18 at the end of the book. It sort of follows them through their life. You get points of view from Michael and then both of their parents. And something like interesting about this is because Sal has cerebral palsy, he can only speak 8 words. Like he only knows 8 words. And so a lot of the book is people like trying to interpret what he's saying. It's like Sal will say one of his words, and then the narration will say like he's saying, I should just find an example. Like, okay, let's say there's this scene here. Ah, Sal yelled, like, you are such a dummy, his voice bouncing off the walls. Yeah, a lot of the book is just sort of like interpreting what Sal is trying to say, and Michael spending a lot of time thinking he knows what Sal wants, but it's usually not what Sal wants, and it's a rough time for Michael. Yeah, voices are a big thing in this. Yeah, I just thought it was great. But so yeah, that's me at 11:30. I'm going to pause the timer now because I don't because it's probably going to go off while I'm not here and I don't want that to happen. And so that means when I get back after having coffee with my friend, I'm going to have 3 more hours of reading where I will continue reading Death Valley. So that's what I'm going to do later. But now I need to get ready and haul ass. So I'll see you later. What's up? I'm back. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back from coffee with my friend. It is 2:21, which means we're technically almost at 24 hours since I started the video, but because I paused the timer before I left, I actually still have 3 hours. 3 hours and 12 minutes and 43 seconds. Yeah, I had a great time, and now I'm back to continue reading Death Valley. I really don't know what to expect from this. I know I talked about it a tiny bit after I started it last night. I have no idea where it's going to take me. Part of me kind of wishes I was reading Annihilation because Annihilation sounds like it actually would have been a better thing to jump to after The Employees, but whatever. That's fine. Yeah, just reporting that I'm back. It's 2:20 something, and I'm going to resume the timer and keep reading for another 3 hours. So I'll be done by about 5:30, which is a great time to be done. Let's get into it. Starting now. Okay, see you later. Bye. Okay, so currently we are at, it is 4:41, so generally, okay, 26 hours since I started, but I have 53 minutes left on the clock. I'm on page 176 of like 230 something of Death Valley. This is gonna be my last check-in before it's actually over. I just sort of want to give a last check-in now that we're at roughly an hour left. I definitely think I could finish this in time, considering the fact I only have like 50 to 60 pages left. I mean, I may have to go over time a little bit to finish it, but that's fine. I don't think you'll care a whole lot. Yeah, it's just interesting so far. Most of it, like, now she's just sort of lost in the desert and she's trying, like, not to die. She's trying to get out. And she's, like, contemplating, like, her dad, like, her dying dad. And then there's also, like, her sick husband. She's like, no one knows where I am. Will anyone even care? When will they come look for me? They don't know where to look for me. Blah, blah, blah. It's very fast to read, especially because the chapters always start on the right page. So sometimes there's just a blank page, so it means I can get through this fast. Yeah, next time you see me, the 24/27 hours of reading will be over. See you in what, 52 minutes? 51 minutes. Let's push through. I can speed read the rest, totally. And that is time. So that's it. That's time on my 24-hour readathon. It's 5:36 p.m. Technically 27 hours almost since I started. I quite literally only have 7 pages left. So I'm just going to finish this really quick. Yeah, and then I'll sort of report on the experience. Maybe I'll just do I don't know if a live reaction at this point probably isn't very helpful. You should have seen me about 15 minutes ago when I was going like, what the fuck is happening? I remembered, like I said, that I got this from a blind date with a book thing. I remember that one of the things it said on it was magical realism. And yeah, some surreal shit happens. Weird things, but so I'm just gonna finish really quick. So here we go with that. What? What? Like what? Oh, okay. I skipped a sentence. Ooh, book club questions. What's the first book club question? I don't care. I did it! I finished Death Valley, making this the third book that I finished in this video. The third one. I mean, one of them I'd already started. Okay, I read 3 books, which is awesome. And 2 of them I read in their entirety. So let's tally up how many pages I read, just because I'm curious. I read 170 pages of this. I read all 125 pages of The Employees. And I read all 232 pages of this. Of course, I said that and I didn't do any math there. 230, 120 is like 350, plus another 170 is almost 500 pages. I need to check my math. I'm an English major for a reason, not a math or STEM related thing. Where is my calculator on here? There we go. Okay, what did I say? 170 plus 132 plus 125. 427 pages, which is basically just one like longer fantasy book. And I feel really good that I read so much. So much. I guess I thought I was gonna read more. I mean, remember I said at the start of the video that I wanted to also read Annihilation. I don't expect I'll be getting to this soon. I need a break from weird shit. Because these two, The Employees in Death Valley, very weird. There was actually a connection between Death Valley and Range of Motion, and that there's a lot of like medical stuff and worrying that people will die. Except Range of Motion is pretty grounded in reality, whereas Death Valley involves her going inside a giant cactus, hallucinating shit, getting lost in the desert, almost dying, shitting herself, and being naked, except for like her dad's army jacket. She rides a bird and then she's somehow saved. Yes, I realize that spoils the whole thing, but I also don't know who here is going to be interested in reading this book. But that's basically like I. I don't really know what my thoughts are on this. I thought it was intriguing. I liked it more than The Employees, probably because it was more coherent than The Employees was. This was just weird. Just weird. Yeah, maybe it's like a 3.5, 4-star deal. I do think Range of Motion is probably 4.5 stars. So the ratings for today are 4.5 stars, 3.5 to 4 stars, and then I give the employees 3 stars. And Annihilation obviously isn't getting a rating because I didn't read it. Someday. Let's see, how do I feel about the experience overall? It was certainly a different weekend for me. I usually spend all the time I spent reading, I usually spend playing video games. So it was nice just to do something else for a change. And it was especially nice to read and add 3 books to my reading goal for the year, taking me from 10, I think, to 13. I did it. I read many books. 3 books. I read, what did I say, 425 ish pages. That's not bad. Yes, I did expect there to be more, but whatever. I'm also glad that I picked a theme for this, the weird theme, even though Range of Motion wasn't that weird. I just wanted to finish reading it. But these two, certainly weird. Very weird. Yeah, what a range of books. Very interesting. But I thought this was a pretty good experience. I do not expect to be doing this again sometime soon. Granted, I also don't think I'll really be able to do it during the school year when all my roommates are here. Or I could, but I'd just be in my room, and that's kind of sad. There's actually decent light out here. My bedroom window sort of just faces other walls, so the lighting in there, plus the fact that the window's just in the corner of the room, terrible, terrible lighting. Here's great. The sun's reflecting off of another wall, even though the sun is fully over there. I guess I'll give a slightly more detailed review of this. Or no, I won't. Because I think now that I'm done with these, maybe next weekend I'll film a reading wrap up. Because then that'll also be around the end of July. So it'll be slightly past mid-year. But it'll be a wrap up of everything I've read so far this year. So you'll get full reviews of everything. And I will prepare notes. It won't be off the cuff like with these. I hope the mic worked okay. I noticed in the last video where I used it, I was still really quiet. And honestly, I'm probably still quiet. I'm just holding it a little closer to my mouth now. Also, I fully don't think the mic was working in the intro clip, which is super cool. I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for the 24-hour read-a-thon, except it was more of a math 3 hours, 27-hour read-a-thon. Almost exactly, actually. I didn't notice what time it was when I finished Death Valley. It was probably about 5:40, and I started at 2:40 yesterday. So I'm also really glad that I was able to finish a book right at the end, and that I'm not leaving anything unfinished, which may actually be a bad thing because now I don't have a physical book that I'm currently reading. I could start Annihilation, we'll see. I kind of want to read a fantasy though. Well, but Annihilation's speculative. It's sci-fi. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll find out what happens at some point later when I report back to you, or just, I don't know, when I post on my Goodreads or something. Highly recommend the vinyl DJ sets by Bobby Ganosh on YouTube. First, I was watching his sets on the Humano Studios channel, but then I found out he has his own channel, and he has great sets of like jazz and funk. It was great to listen to. I mean, this morning I was listening to Leve, but highly recommend vinyl DJ sets. One, because you can tell it's not AI because there's actively someone on the screen putting in the vinyls, and it's just really cool. And I watch it and I'm like, how the hell do you know how to use that machine? How do vinyls work? I have no idea. Hence why I'm sort of into collecting movies and books, obviously, not vinyls or CDs. Granted, I don't know how DVDs work either, since they're basically like, it's still just like data is somehow engraved in a disc, and players know how to read that, and it's code translated into engravings, translated back into code, translated into like something we can see or listen to. Man, science is crazy. Technology is crazy. This is a stupid tangent. Thank you so much for watching my first ever 24-hour readathon. These were the books we got to today. If you liked this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Especially if you've read any of these books. These are definitely lesser known books, especially Brian's book. It literally only has, I think, 25 reviews or ratings on Goodreads. But like the other two, I don't know. Good Lord, I'm really bad at this. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for stopping by the book lab. I've been your book lab partner, Anna, and I will see you next time. Peace out.